Ashley and Amy, number one, for hosting this meeting, and also too for inviting me to my testimony for the first time. I'm really excited. Today I was thinking back. I remember my first opportunity meeting. Who all here is new? Who is not an ambassador? Okay, raise your hands, y'all. Don't be bold. We're all bold. Okay, we're pink. Anyway, y'all, I remember my first opportunity meeting, and the way that it happened was it was back in August of 2015, and a friend of mine had been puking Plexus all over me for over a year. She kept focusing. We all know that feeling? Yeah. And she kept focusing on weight loss. I'm middle-aged. I don't even care about weight loss. I'm happy with my body. So I'm like, okay, leave me alone. Well, being the good friend I am, she decided that she was going to give her first testimony, same place I'm standing in right now. She's like, will you please come down to League City with me? It's on a Sunday evening, and just give me moral support. So I said, that's fine, I'm being a good friend. So we make the trek down there, cancel a date for all this stuff. I go and I start listening. I met some of the sweetest people. I think Sarah Taylor was there. And I'm listening to these wonderful, wonderful women give their testimonies. And they're talking about weight loss, about the emotional issues Plexus has helped with, about being able to keep up with their babies, breastfeeding, pregnancies. I'm like, wow, this is wonderful. I have a 24-year-old daughter. It's like, maybe this will work for Greer. Well, I wasn't interested, but I was attentive in everything else. Then everything changed. This wonderful lady who's very close to my own age, she's middle-aged, her name's Benita Cox. To this day, she is one of my closest friends, and we're also partnering in our businesses and Plexus together. She got to talk. Y'all, when she started sharing her testimony, I was so attentive. Ears, eyes, everything was on this woman, because finally I could relate to something. We were at a different stage in our lives than what younger women are. And right then and there, I made the decision, this is where I need to be. I had an issue that I was trying to deal with, and I just didn't know what I was going to do with it. So we get back in the truck, drive all the way back up to Magnolia with my girlfriend. I said, don't even keep Plexus all over me. I don't want to hear it, because I'm one of these people, I've got to make this decision on my own. So anyway, I get home, I walk in the door, it's like, don't even talk to me, hit the laptop. I start researching my symptoms and everything I'm dealing with, and gut health, because that's all I said, gut health, gut health, gut health. Y'all look it up. I'm going to tell you online, whatever you're dealing with, whether it's weight loss, headaches, migraines, whatever, and gut health, you're going to see how much the correlation is. So anyway, so I go through that. And by the way, y'all, I'm LeGardeur. I am 52 years old. I've been a Plexus ambassador since August of 2015. And as of last November, when I got laid off from the oil and gas industry, I decided Plexus would be my business. So I got a little lax there for a little while. Got, messed up with the holidays and stuff like that, and the floods and all that. But I'm taking my team with me to Virginia, and I'm very excited about this whole next phase, new adventure in my life. Okay, now, start off, I'm going to ask y'all, and we have a younger crowd here than I expected, but there's still some of us. How many of you, and I want you to see a raise of hands, are dealing with menopause? Or you have someone else in your family who's dealing with menopause? Go ahead, yeah. Put them up. I'm telling you, there's nothing to be ashamed of. All right, now, let's see how close we are now. I want whoever's sitting closest to you, to reach over and give that person, get your hands up, come on, and give that person a huge hug. Hold on tight now. I want you to whisper in their ear. Come on, where's the hugs? Where's the love? And hold on tight. Now I want you to whisper in her ear. It's okay, honey. Your life is about to change. Seriously. Okay? So, y'all, menopause is a fact of life. You're going to go through it. We're all women in this room. There's no men, so I can talk openly. It's going to affect you, whether it's doing it now or doing it to your mom, your aunt, your friend's mom, whoever it is. Every single woman at one point in their life is affected by menopause. You can either get it naturally, like I did, or through surgical procedures, hysterectomies, maybe your ovaries don't quite work right. I started my struggle with it when I was 45. That was 7 years ago. And it was suffering like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it included hot flashes. It was the night sweats, the weight gain and the bloating, the emotional roller coaster. I was like Sybil from The Exit. Have any of y'all seen The Exorcist? If you asked me a question, you had no idea which side of me you were going to do. It's like I was possessed by Satan. And then, you think being young, y'all have an issue with PMS? Wait till you start going through menopause. Aunt Ruby would start planning her trip to come see me 2 weeks in advance. I mean, the cramps I had never had in my life, the bloating, my boobs felt like they were like F's and I'm only a C. I was miserable. And she would come and say that I had no idea how long she was staying. That's how bad she was. So even worse, and you young ladies, pray that you don't go through this, I'm gonna tell you, my libido went downhill. I mean, flattened out, and that was not part of who I was. So anyway, I had talked to my doctor, and I said, he suggested hormone therapy. I'm like, oh, no way in hell am I putting myself through that. So anyway, so I said, I want to try a more natural approach. He's like, well, you can do this, this, and this over the counter. He's like, I can't guarantee anything. I'd rather put you on hormone therapy. I said, no, let me see something else. So anyway, so after I got through doing all my research that night that I went home from my opportunity meeting, I went online, did all my research. Y'all heard about all that. 7 a.m. the next morning, it was a Monday, could not get here quick enough. I'm waiting there. You know how you're sitting here, okay, it's too early to text somebody, I certainly can't call. So I texted my girlfriend who took me to the meeting, and I said, I gotta get me some Plexus, period. And she's like, well, yeah, I gotta feed the baby, I gotta do something. 2 hours later, I'm on her doorstep. It's like, okay, sign me up. And y'all, I signed up as an ambassador for 2 reasons. Number 1, I wanted the discount. I'm a cheapskate at times, but I wanted the discount. And number 2, if it worked for me, guess what? I would be puking Plexus all over everything. Anyway, so on my doorstep, a few days later, arrived a little pink drink, and she brought 2 of her girlfriends. One was the Pro Bio 5, which I love, and the Bio Cleanse. Oh my, I had no idea what these 3 ladies were gonna do for my life, okay? Within 1 month, just 1 month, and y'all go home and share this with the women who you know that are going through this, because I thought there was no relief in sight. I was totally wrong. Within 1 month, I no longer had hot flashes. And y'all have seen the thing going around Facebook with the lady dumping herself into the bin at Walmart trying to cool off? That was me, okay? No more night sweats, and I had to change my bed sheets in the middle of the night because it was so bad. And then I started noticing other things were happening. Aunt Ruby, remember her? That bitch. I'm sorry. Anyway, she still came to visit, but it was shorter. It would be 2 days ahead of time. It's like, yes, get your plane ticket back home. And then my periods lasted for about 2 days. Nothing near what I was going through prior to that. The sex drive, you know, that nice little word for libido is a nice word. Sex drive is really where it comes into. That was coming back full force, and let me tell you, get out your phones right now, get online, order Mega X. This stuff does for your libido like you wouldn't believe. And that's even if y'all are young. Even if you're young, you're running around with kids and everything. But when you get to be our age, it's a major thing, all right? So, I'm telling you, order now. Pull out your phones. It's shopmyplexus.com, whoever your ambassador is. So anyway, with all of these wonderful things happening, I started really paying attention to my body. You know how it is? You know, we go online, we search all this stuff. Oh, I've got a headache. Oh, I must be dying. Let me go search it online. That wasn't the case. I fine-tuned into my own body, and give you a little history of where I come from. I was the national sales director in the oil and gas industry. I traveled extensively. I lived out of my suitcase. The first thing every single time I packed and basically stayed in my suitcase was my over-the-counter allergy medicine and my pain reliever for the massive headaches I got due to my sinuses. I would land. By the time I landed, my voice was already starting to go. My sinuses would plug up. My eyes were watery and runny and drippy, and I was just miserable. Well, all of a sudden, I noticed I'm not visiting. Fine, I'm going to name names. Please do that, y'all. But no more Sudafed, no more Aleve. They stayed in my suitcase. And I'm like, okay, this is getting really good here. You know, something I didn't expect. I was happy with the Menopause issues. Then I noticed I was constipated, y'all. I had been for many, many, many years. Pooped once a day at best. You know, I talk about poop every day, all day long. More so at 52 than what I did when my 2 daughters, who are now grown women, or babies. Poop is a natural talk. Y'all agree? Everybody agree? But on top of that, though, I also have better sleep. I have amazing energy. How old are you?
33.
Okay, I have more energy probably than what you do right now. Hate to say that. So, but anyway, getting on the serious side, y'all. Besides the menopause problems, as I call them, I had something far greater that happened to me, and this is why I'm going to share with you and why I'm most passionate about Plexus, and I always will be. I am from New Orleans. I'm from Katrina. Woo! There we go. West Bank?
No, maybe not.
Oh, close enough. My daughter. Yeah, she lived over there. Anyway, y'all, I went back to New Orleans after Katrina hit. Rebuilt my life with my 2 daughters. A year later, I was rushed to the emergency room in the middle of the night. Several attempts to drive my daughter across that big bridge with me, and because I had to get there. I felt like I could not catch my breath. I was literally drowning in my own lungs. I get there. They rushed me into the ER. Could not figure out what was wrong with me. I still couldn't breathe. They were giving me steroids, anything to clear my lungs. After many, many tests and several days in ICU, they found I had black mold in my lungs. Is anyone familiar with this situation? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. This is deadly, y'all. It was very serious. They patched me up. They thought they had fixed me, released me from the hospital, and said, "We've got you set up, but you cannot live here anymore." So I'm like, okay. I moved to Houston, back home again, and about 5 years afterwards, I'm not crying, Lauren, so don't start it. Don't start, y'all. This is the part when I was practicing. I thought I would break down in tears, but I'm okay, because y'all are so sweet and friendly. Anyway, I get diagnosed with cancer. So, terminal cancer at that. And I'm like, okay, I've been through worse. I'm a fighter, I'm a survivor. I've got two little girls, one's 17, one's 12 when I get sick. And not only did I get that blow, and y'all, I'm in remission. I have been for several years, thank God. There was an underlying issue that they had to deal with in order to get me fixed. And that was the black mold that we talked about. It wasn't gone. It was still in my lungs, but it had dispersed and adhered to all of the mold throughout all of the scar tissue in my entire body. So for over a year, in order to treat me for the cancer, they had to get rid of the mold, or at least get it contained. So I got injections 3 times a week, over 60 shots altogether throughout my body, just trying to combat it. They finally got me well enough to where they could put me in through chemotherapy. My cancer went away, but I still had mold issues. Still had it. So they sent me to a nutritionist, MD Anderson. She sat me down and said, okay, I've come up with a game plan for you, but it's going to be for the rest of your life. With that, you want to know what she restricted me from? And this is for the rest of my life. Nothing with sugar in it, flour, yeast, or mold. Think of one food besides meat that doesn't have one of those issues in it. I'm talking about vegetables who grow underground, everything. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to live with it. No big deal, I can do this. Well, y'all, do you know what it's like to tell a sugar and carb addict that you can't have this anymore? Aunt Ruby had nothing on this. So anyway, so I adhered to it, and then all of a sudden, I joined Plexus in August. In December, I went in to my oncologist's office, and down to MD Anderson, they did my blood work. All right, they had gotten it to where it was something I could control somewhat for the rest of my life. I would never be normal. Do you want to know what my results were back in December after 4 months of being on Plexus? I have the same mold levels almost as what all of you normal people have. So, and I got to tell you, I contribute, I would say 70% of it at least to what Plexus has done to my gut. Gut health is what got me healthy again. And I owe it to Plexus. And even on days, y'all, because it's controlled my sugar and carb cravings that much to where I'm not a freaky civil person anymore about it. And I do cheat. I do. It's a fact of life. I can't live this